Iggy, whatever made you decide to become a musician?
Ooh, that's a decent question. It was a combination of the industrial sounds I heard when I was growing up. It was more the noise than the music, and mainly just the noisiness of it. It gave you a chance to make noise and jump up and down and go like that, and it was just the most fun of anything to do.
You were a drummer originally.
I was a drummer. I was a really bad drummer, but very enthusiastic. And when I played, I had a kind of quality of intoxication. It's a drunkenness with the, the amplified guitar and the loudness of the drums. I just liked it. It was big and loud.
But why you didn't ever become a hippie, though it would suit your age?
No, I dabbled for about 6 months. When the Summer of Love came, I grew a little mustache and had some Indian robes, but I got tired of that. No, I stuck more with just hard music, basically.
The Stooges were a very aggressive band, and a band reputed to know no limits. What made that band tick?
Oh, I think a combination of, I think we had a very dangerous honesty in our group, and I was determined as a writer, which is what I was originally was a writer who wanted to write for music. I was determined that my portrayals were going to be clear and honest in what was really going on. And so what happened was this immediately brought us in conflict with people who were singing California Dreamin' while they were really shooting heroin, So because we came very early into conflict with the musical establishment in America, this made us even more aggressive than we would have normally been. And so things just escalated. The other guys in the Stooges were maybe less cerebral than me. They were basically just lovely juvenile delinquents who had a healthy disrespect toward everything.
But part of your legend is based on your hard living. Were you ever trapped by that legend?
No, I never felt trapped by that, which was why in 1983, 3 years ago, when I decided I had enough of that kind of life, I just dropped it like a cold potato. I said, enough with this schmutz, man, fuck it, and I went totally straight. It's taken me the last 3 years of my life just to learn the normal discipline that other people take for granted in their everyday living, but I've done so. And it's probably been the most exciting 3 years of my adult life. Just walking down the street buying a vegetable like everybody else. It's been great. And I defy anyone to impose a legend on me. What's really always been good about my music is that it's been done with energy and with conviction. And I found in fact that without being stoned and without indiscriminate sex and generally guerrilla-like behavior, I've been able to do my music better than I ever could. It hasn't gone the opposite. I mean, it never was the drugs that wrote the songs. That was me.
Iggy, 4 years ago, this book was published. It's an autobiography written by you. Why did you want to write that?
2 reasons. One, a lot of the stories in here are about the struggles of some people who didn't have maybe a whole lot of talent and didn't have any musical expertise or any money or anything to start a group, a rock and roll band. And I always thought that it's at that level, at the level of beginnings and at the level of people struggling, that things are a lot more interesting than when they get big and it's all the helicopter, the stadium, hurrah, hurrah, the money, oh, the management, and so I had seen so many bad rock and roll films and bad videos about rock and roll, giving people the idea that that's what's important about it. I thought, fuck that, I'm going to show them what's really important. So I write about things like, driving 200 miles to your gig in Ohio and seeing girls hanging around the Dairy Queen and trying to take them home, and getting arrested for, just little things like that, about the beginnings. And the other reason I wrote it was simply simply to communicate, to tell my story myself rather than having it done for me in the press. And also because I read so many bad rock star books, like, at 7:30 p.m. the limousine picked me up. I put on my new hat. It's really cool. You should see it. You know, wank, wank. So I tried to do something a little better. In many ways in the Stooges, we had a certain prejudice toward people who have it easy. I just think there's a very fine dividing line between people who win and people who lose in this life, and I think people who are lucky enough to be on the winning side should show some respect to those who aren't. I know there was a time when Elvis Presley, for instance, never really made a great record after he joined the Army. So with him, it wasn't really a question of having an easy life. It was a question of once he gave in to society in that particular crucial moment and said, oh yeah, I'll go do the right thing then, Colonel Tom, you know, shucks. He was a goner. I think it's more down to willpower. If he'd been a little smarter and made a good compromise, he could have avoided the draft if that's what he really wanted. Could have gotten himself a manager who would be a little more responsive to himself and not been a total puppet. I think everybody in this world has to compromise in some way all the time. It's a matter of choosing which areas you're going to compromise in. That's my personal feeling.
A lot of younger musicians today see the guitar as a credibility symbol.
Well, that's bullshit. Most young guitar players are just awful. And not only are they awful, they're stupid, and they're a bunch of wankers. They're not even any fun to go out and have a drink with or talk to or anything else. But then that's most of the world. No, what I always said was that if the noises that attracted me originally were things like the machine presses that turns out the fender of a car in a foundry, or the sound of a ship bumping into the dock, or the sound of a space heater when you turn it up in your house and it's kind of bzzz, or the hum of the dishwasher, the electric washer and dryer, these sort of things. That came way before the guitar. Then later it was the guitar. I have more feeling for a guitar played well, personally, than for a synthesizer. But it's certainly nothing to get dogmatic about. And if you're a crummy guitar player with no ideas, you're just a crummy guitar player. You're not credible.
The music of a German band like Einstürzende Neubauten, they exploit those noise sources you talk about here. Do
Yes.
you know them? Do you like them?
I do like them, yeah. Yeah, I like those records.
Would you consider that a kind of rock and roll music?
I don't know. That phrase rock and roll doesn't mean anything anymore. All the governments have gotten behind it now. All the corporations are behind it. In America, they're using it. They use 50s rock songs to sell cornflakes, baby diapers, you know. Hey, mama, your baby won't shit, you know. You know, I mean, it's what? What does it mean? I think soon I could see a day when there could be when rock music could be used to during civil riots, just to keep people quiet. I could just hear it, boom boom chick, boom boom chick. Citizens, surrender now. Lay down your arms, boom boom chick, boom boom chick. You know, I mean, it could mean anything.
What made you sing a song like Real Wild Child, which is kind of juvenile at the age of 39?
Real Wild Child is a celebration of the juvenile instinct, and also a realization of how silly and very tiny is the meaning of being wild. Because basically, you know, in this human life, all it really means to be wild. You have a little, give your ego a little rein and jump up and down a little bit and go woo woo woo, you know, and that's about it really. And other than that, I liked the song because in the third verse, I mean, it was written in the 50s, and in the third verse, he's mentioning the world gone crazy and everything hazy, and it was even before Purple Haze was written. And I just thought, yeah, I like that. But even though he likes the real wild fun, I'm sure that the guy I mean, the guy that wrote that song, his idea of a real wild fun would probably be to pick up an underage girl at a drive-in and get her out on a dark road in his convertible, you know, and then get away with it. You know, that would be like, wow, you know. Yeah, wild. So basically, isn't it, it's probably just, you know, drink a little, fuck a little, get away with something, you know? It's like, you know.
Very innocent.
Yeah, it is. I think so.
But I sense that you have a kind of a little bit of ironic, there's a bit of ironic twist to your interpretation, maybe. Is that visible in the video you are making on the song?
I didn't really. All I did was I had them film me doing it live, because I don't think a song like that is worthy of a kind of you know, Rodin sculpture. You know, it's like not something you think about. I just said film it, so we filmed it live. Did it like that.
Well, you